Experience Monotheism, The Human Way, a thought experiment exploring monotheism as a sole existential framework. Dedication, dedicated to the One. The undeniable confirmation of the existence of God can be gained in one way: death. Let me share some great news about death, first to lighten you up a little bit. It is always your choice. Whichever one created gave you the choice to continue your existence by providing the option to die. Why were we given this choice to die? He gave us this choice to make sure that humans cannot claim any form of slavery. You can say that since your God already knows how long you're going to live, therefore, when you fall off from any edge of this flat earth, it is all part of some detailed divine design, and you had nothing to do with it. God, by definition, must know the time of your death. I do not want my God to be as unknowledgeable about myself as I am. He must be the most knowledgeable if he is the perfect one. However, him being aware of the time of your death is his knowledge and does not impact your choice. If God asks you to commit suicide, you are still the one that will have to act upon it, because his knowledge does not force your actions. This is a necessary natural condition to ensure that no form of slavery can exist between God and human. This human attribute of self-destruction within us can be used in rage or stupidity to end our existence, although it is not designed to be used at all. However, it is this very freedom to die that allows you to imagine yourself as separate from God. Everything separated must have been united once. If humans did transcend from one, the reunification process of the human, with one, can only start in the event of your death. What happens afterwards? How do I know? I am not dead yet. It is a shame indeed that from all the wonderful people that I knew, not even one came back to tell me what happens in the next episode. Even if a friend who is currently alive in some alternate form but dead in human terms came back and told me something, that would be information that you would need to adopt as faith based on my words, and none of that is allowed in this experience. Since faith and knowledge are not allowed, it is now your responsibility to also think about how you would ideally like to continue to exist after the death of your being. Would you want to disappear like a raindrop falling in this ocean? This image of us dropping in this ocean represents a one-step ultimate reunification where everything is just one. This one-step ultimate unification would be unnatural. Besides, the story will be rendered pointless. The story claims that God rang the first bell and kicked us out from somewhere to come party on this earth a little bit, and based on how we behave, he will decide if we behave nice or naughty. That above is the skeleton of the entire story of creation that forms the basis of monotheism. If your death leads to complete unification with God, the story is only half right. Its second part, the post-death one, suggests more to follow, with this concept of good and not so fortunate dead ones. For the second part of the story to be true, there must exist some form of a division between you and him even after your death. That knowledge of what lies between the creator of humans and the ultimate singularity cannot exist in the imagination of us poor humans. However, the creator of creators is the only entity that can possess the knowledge of what lies between. Remember those pictures and depictions of many godlike existences from the era of divine contact. For the second part of the story, some of those existences must be present within this nature. Our death will eventually result in reunification with our Creator, if our birth was also from the same one. However, that one being the singularity always had this option to create more forms of existence. Perhaps he did. Perhaps he did create other forms of existences that are needed to carry the next episode of the story of creation that will commence after your death. It might be a good idea to add this question to the wish list of your perfect one. Whether death is the end or is there another episode to the story of creation is a matter of faith, which you can now gain fearlessly from whichever source you choose reliable if you agree with this natural method. And you know me. As a principle, I never meddle in your personal affairs. Although, I wish you the best of luck in finding an alternate to the grandest story creation. But a story without a singularity has one other problem. Choice. It is the choice of humans that causes us either pain or joy. It is the existence of choice that creates doubts. It is the existence of choice that leads to all your desires, including our grandest desire to find one without it. Therefore, I choose a perfect one who can tell me that he is the singularity, the creator of me and everything I can see and cannot, and everything that I can imagine and cannot in this natural universe or anywhere else, and I would love to call him my God and not bother with anyone else. In whichever holy words my perfect one exists, I will adopt that faith as my choice to fulfill this desire of mine. As my personal perfect one is perfect, he must also have arranged for fulfillment of this desire of mine which he created as part of my story, and this belief removed my choice. This is what made me a monotheist. You, on the other hand, still have a choice. You can choose for this natural method of discovery starting from the only realities that you know, which are you and your choice. However, as we can see, just believing in realities might lead you to one God. As our time together is finished, this is the end of our experience.